It's different now than what it was, you know. I mean, back in those days, apprenticeships were very few and far between, and there was no information. Obviously, there was no internet, you know. So you
Yeah.
can all that information, all that YouTube, all that everything was non-existent, right? So there was no information. If you wanted to know anything about it, you had to literally go into a tattoo shop and try and talk to one of these salty old bastards, and usually they just tell you to fuck off, right? If they didn't punch you in the
Yeah.
face, right?
Yeah.
It was very aggressive, and
Yeah.
and you know, and I don't disparage that way. I would kind of wish it still was that way, right?
Yeah.
Because it protected the craft, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
It kept all the dipshits out, and if you wanted it bad enough, you'd find a way, and I did, you
Yeah.
know. I got equipment, and I went and got a job in a shop, and I learned. I went to a bunch of different shops and learned from a bunch of different people. And I mean, look, I'm still learning. I'm 32 years in. It's still an ongoing learning process. It's like kung fu. You
Yeah.
know, you
Yeah.
cannot master Shaolin kung fu in its entirety, right? And you
No.
cannot master tattooing in its entirety. You can go down different pathways. You know,
Yeah.
you can become a master of Japanese or a master of realism or a master of tribal, but you can never master the whole thing. Right?
Yes.
There's always something to learn. And in Japanese, I think, which is, you know, one of the more advanced pathways, which is what I do, you can never master even just that pathway because there's so many other pathways within that pathway in terms
Yes.
of the type of Japanese you do, whether you specialize in warriors or dragons or, you know, water creatures. I mean, there's just so much information that, you know, it's literally impossible to be the
Yeah.
master of this without having to constantly go back and refresh yourself in the books and in the information and relearn. Like, I'll spend a month or two drawing tigers for some projects, and I'll forget how to draw dragons.
Okay. So it's like, yeah.
And I'll spend a few more months getting back into dragons, and I will have forgotten stuff about koi fish. So it's this constant
Yes.
having to refresh and relearn, and the same in kung fu. If you spend all your time doing sword work, you know,
Yeah.
when it comes back to doing staff, you might be a little bit rusty, you know.
Yeah.
So,
It's I really like that correlation between your craft and what I do as well. Like, I see lots of similarities, and I mean, I don't know too much about tattooing at all, just from what we've spoken about and what you tell me about. But there's this aspect of mastery and practice and continual practice